nine, eight, seven, six, five, four, three, two. Are you ready?
Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hard Way Wrestling. I am your amazing and wonderful guide on today's show, Scotty Too Hottie, S2H for all of you out there in the know. And we have got three of my favorite people.
Scotty Too Hottie shows up.
Yeah. We got three of my favorite people. We got Tricky Ricky. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, Brian Hardy. And we've got a man who really doesn't want to show his face on camera right now. That is Jason.
I have a bone to pick with you, Hardy. So I bought Brian Hardy's book, okay, and Wrestling with Life Rocking All Night. I don't know if you guys have seen this
He's
book
got
yet.
Scotty eye.
Oh,
well, no, wrong way.
Hardy, can you hear me? I can't see
Yes,
it right
sir.
now. I have a bone to pick with you, sir.
Okay.
Now, I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's a quick read. I should have been able to be through it by now. But do you know? Can you read that?
Yeah.
I am old, Hardy, and I cannot. These letters and numbers are so small. Who's supposed to read this, sir?
Do you know why I did it that way? Do you want me to tell?
I'm dying to know, bro. I'm dying to know.
You tell. Here's the problem. If somebody was walking by Barnes & Noble or something and opened up the book, they would just be like, I think I might know that word. And then they'd close it up and put it back on the shelf and not buy it, right? But if the font's really small, they're going to be like, hold up. They're going to take the time. They're really going to stick their nose in that book. They're going to sniff it. Oh, that smells like a fresh, nice new book. All right, sweet. I'm going to buy this bad boy. And then they walk right out the door with it.
Smells like chops. Does it come with a monocle?
And the absolute bullshit excuse is that it better come. You know, there's reading.
You need
Those
one of
big
them.
reading magnifying things is what I need.
You need
I'm gonna be so
the
honest
minor
with you,
light
That was totally
for your
that
hat.
was totally an Amazon call.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck
So it was
Amazon.
like I literally just sent them the book once it was written, and they did the rest. So it was like the front cover was designed by me, and I cleared that, and same with the back. But after that, everything inside of it, even the photographs, like I was like, you know, we had the option to do color photos or black and white. I'm like, just do black and white, like it's fine because it'll save on, you know, expense or whatever. But at the same time, like the font size, you are not the first person to say that. I've probably had about at least 20 or 30 people say that right off
Your
the
book
bat.
has
like,
an
where they
age
were like,
limit.
"Dude,
Anybody under the age of 45 is not over the age of 45 is not reading that book easily.
All right, I can
I'm
still
not
read it.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't believe it made it to you that quickly.
It was supposed to be here Friday, and it showed up yesterday. And
That's
probably
because Amazon had to squint to read who it was being delivered
probably
to.
the delivery instructions were really small, and they didn't get that either. So I got it yesterday, and I was like, "Yes, I'm gonna read this book before I see Brian on Friday." And I opened it up, and I was like, "How in the absolute fuck am I supposed to read this?" Like, you have to be in a super well lit. Like, I have well lit in here, right? My downstairs is not as well lit. But I opened that up downstairs yesterday. I was like, God damn it, Hardy. I just wanted to read the book. So,
Well, don't worry.
well,
you'll get
if you
through it.
haven't
You'll get
if you haven't gotten a chance to read the book, if you hadn't bought the book yet, what the fuck you waiting on? It's only $30. It was cheap. I paid more for. I've paid a lot more for a lot less. I promise you that. I got a whole room full of that. So
It's crazy, man. It's 33 years, or I'll say 31 years of life in 15 chapters. So
Wow. That's
damn, you need to live a little because that's about 12 pages in that book. You need to live just a little bit.
If it was bigger printed, it'd be a dictionary.
Jesus. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
so wait a minute. So explain this to me. I mean, maybe the people don't know. I don't know. You write the book, you send it to Amazon, they bind it, they do all that?
Yeah, so it's really weird. Because we went through probably about 12 to 15 different companies to see like different price quotes. And
Yeah.
then finally my wife was like, well, Amazon can do it. And I'm like, well, the whole thing's written. It literally took me from 2017 to 2022 to write the book. And then after that, I just kept going
It might
back and
take me that
adding
long to
stuff.
fucking read it.
And it got to the point where she literally said to me, she's like, let's try this Amazon thing. And I really wasn't about it because I was like, oh man. And we found a way around it because the thing is like Amazon makes a killing off of those books, obviously. They're the ones doing all the work, honestly. But if I buy copies of it and sell them at shows and stuff like that, then obviously I get a really nice kickback on it. But otherwise, I send everybody to the website because then it's just less work. But then the thing is, if people buy it off the website, Amazon's getting a lot more of a kickback out of it than we are. But they do all the work for it. They were able to make it all happen. And like I said, I was responsible for the cover and the back and everything else. They pretty much handled right there in house.
Is it the same price if I buy it from you than if I buy it from Amazon?
It's the same price. But it's just as far as like the kickback that they get and the kickback that I get, if people buy it from me in person, I'm getting like, I'm trying to think of the breakdown. I'm probably making like
Wholesale price.
yeah, like a wholesale price. My wife's sitting right behind the camera.
Gotcha.
But like
That's
probably
your
like a
manager.
wholesale-
That's your manager. Hey, can we get the wife on camera here? I mean,
I would
she's
normally
obviously
say
the
yes.
brain. She's obviously the brains behind the whole thing. I mean,
I would normally say yes, but she's rocking the grandbaby at the moment.
okay.
You're good. But yeah, it was quite hectic though, because like I said, when I sell at shows, I'm making somewhere in the ballpark of between like $17 to $20 a book. Whereas like online, Amazon's making between $17 to $20 a book.
Okay.
So it's really like if you buy from them, they're making the money. If you buy directly from me, I'm making the money.
Damn, Brian. Shit. Next time.
There will be a next time because I'm already writing this. I'm already writing the second book right now.
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
Can you go even smaller?
Don't test me. Don't test me.
I own zero. I own zero literature when it comes to wrestling because I have the internet, right?
Really?
Why would I have zero books? No books. Actually, I don't read. That sometimes I don't even know if I.
He can't read, ladies and gentlemen. That's what.
Okay. Can I make 3 recommendations to you real fast?
Absolutely. I already got the one.
All right. Well, I mean, I would say that's the 4th recommendation. Okay. Number 1, you should definitely read the Young Bucks book. I know we've talked about the Young Bucks before.
Okay.
Read the Young Bucks book. I would definitely get a book if you can. It's by William Blake. It's called To Kill the Town. It talks about the history of Maryland professional wrestling. It talks about my dad being the first ever Maryland wrestling champion, and then it goes from there. Like it talks kind of more so about the beginnings of like back in the Civic Center days where like NWA and WWF would come to town, and you would have your Bruno Sammartino versus Superstar Billy Graham, for the WWF title, and then the NWA title. It later talks about like Flair and all the different guys he wrestled over the years and stuff like that. But it really goes in depth about my dad's career, and it goes in depth about all this stuff. And then towards the end of the book, they start talking about me, and that was like right when I first broke into the business. And then the third book, so that one's called To Kill the Town. And then the third book, if you ever get a chance to check it out, it's called Battleground Baltimore. And it is just a history book. And it's literally about the entire wrestling history of the Baltimore arena, like every show that's ever taken place at the Baltimore arena. That's a pretty sick book too. I mean, for anybody that's close to the Maryland scene or whatever, those are just some of my favorite books. I'm literally looking at a shelf across from me right now in my room, and I've got like so many wrestling books, and I'm like, it's ridiculous.
He's got
is
better
there any
vision.
nudity?
Got better vision than you do, Jason.
Is there any nudity in any of these books, Brian? It's gonna make me want to get to them a little quicker.
Maybe Sonny.
Okay, everybody has seen Sunny naked, though. I mean,
yeah.
1996 AOL most downloaded, right?
recently. Have you seen the new
Yeah,
naked?
we're not going to talk about the recent,
Yeah,
man.
that's actually a fold-out picture, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think it's shot with
She's
an
making
aerial camera.
She's making a run for Scotty.
Anyway,
She wants to stir that soup spoon.
anyway, Wrestling with Life, rock and roll all night. Get the book. I will have it done. I will be sitting down on Sunday and reading this book and critiquing it. So, Brian, everything better be spelled right.
He's planning on taking a long dump
I don't
on
think you're going to
Sunday.
run into any spelling errors. I think just some of these stories are going to shock the hell out of you, and you're going to be like, dude, I didn't even know.
Honestly, if I find any spelling, it'll be by accident because I can't spell either. So,
hey Brian, so
yes, sir.
let's go off on a slight tangent here for just a sec. You said that some of those books are about the history of Maryland wrestling, and there's something that I've always kind of wondered about. We've known that the history of wrestling, Vince Sr. up north, he had, his early days were in PA, but then he moved mostly to New York, Connecticut area and established stuff up there. Vince Jr., same deal. And then the NWA down south, but NWA came up north, Virginia, Maryland, Baltimore Arena was critical to both companies, both Vince Sr. and NWA. The thing I always have wondered, and maybe this is touched on in these books, maybe you might know some of it as well. Why wasn't the Maryland, Virginia, Delaware market, even a little bit of West Virginia, turned into its own territory back in the day? Do these books touch on this? Because
it kind of talks about how Maryland was just like past the idea of a territory. So you hear everybody talk about Memphis, you hear everybody talk about all these different mainstay areas, the Charlotte, North Carolina area, all that kind of stuff for Crockett and everything. But I mean, wrestling in Maryland has so much history just as it is. I mean, there's so much stuff. Like there's dumb stuff that like people don't, and I don't want to say dumb because I mean I like the guy and everything like that, but like there's small, like, and I guess it goes with your little trivia stuff later on. I'm like a buff of all this kind of stuff. Shane McMahon was born in Gaithersburg, Maryland. So it's like people don't even people don't even like pay attention to like small stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, Vince and Linda used to always be in Maryland all the time doing like TVs after Vince took the company from his dad. And Shane was actually born here in Gaithersburg. So I'm like, that's
I
a
actually
pretty
thought
wild.
You were getting ready to tell us that Shane is not the illegitimate son of Vince McMahon. Breaking news.
Hornswoggle was born in Gaithersburg.
But I mean, some of these books do touch on a lot of that stuff, though. Like it talks about what Maryland wrestling should have been, and it talks about things with Crockett and the McMahons and stuff like that. It talks about people that wanted to be promoters that never even ended up being promoters in Maryland. And then, like I said, it talks about kind of how my dad threw the load on his back and just started Maryland wrestling for what it was back in the, I want to say late 80s, early 90s, probably about 89 or 90. And from there, it just kind of took off and down.
Scotty's dial-up went down.
There's Scotty's still there. He is just doing his best version of Batman.
No, John Cena, right?
Now he's John
Currently.
Cena. You can't see him now.
And that's hard to do.
All right, well, let's get into this. We got a lot of topics covered today. Well, not a lot of topics. Sorry. So we have the Tuesday Night Wars and its ratings. With the ratings are in. We got Vince. Vince is fired. Vince is out of creative.
Wyatt must have been. Hold on. Wyatt must have been watching, and he took the picture where Scotty's screen went upside down.
No, that's me. That's me.
Was it you? Under I read Wyatt's comment.
Yeah, Scotty's upside down. I guess we'll give Scotty a second here to
there we go. My apologies.
The ice pack.
Yes, I did. I'm
Scotty,
hoping
that was Scotty. That was hilarious. I've never seen you so agile in my life. Scotty was about to hit Brian with his finisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit.
So
All right, well, let's get into it. We talked on Monday or two. We talked. Ricky and I talked on Tuesday about
Wednesday. We
NXT.
talked on Wednesday about Tuesday.
Wednesday about Tuesday. Yeah, I still can't get it right. We talked about NXT, AEW Wars, the Tuesday Night Wars. Brian, Scott, we didn't get to talk to you about it. Did you guys get a chance to catch any of that, Brian?
Yeah, and it was weird because I wasn't watching it live as it happened, but I was busy that night and had a lot of stuff going on with the family, as you know, and stuff. But I did go back and watch it on the DVR, and I watched both shows. And I thought both shows were incredibly good. They kind of both had to step up their game for the week, obviously. Like you said, the ratings are in. I'm sure you'll talk about that in a few minutes, but there were certain things that I liked a lot about WWE, and that's very hard for me to say. Like the NXT product the other night was, pretty good. There was a lot of stuff that I saw that I literally was like, wow, this was a change of the guard. But AEW always delivers. I don't know. Maybe I'm not being as down the middle as I should be about it, but AEW was really awesome the other night too. So
Scotty?
I have seen clips. Unfortunately, I have not seen the whole thing of either show. But what I saw, again, they both had high points. They both had a couple of low points. AEW had a few more low points than NXT. But overall, like the rating, I mean, again, yes, WWE loaded up NXT with a few more surprises and things that AEW didn't have, and AEW can't have, considering some of the guys that are under contract. But it's, I don't know, like the ratings speak for themselves, and yeah, as we'll get into later, the fallout of the ratings speak for themselves. Again, I'm not saying I'm not a complete disser of AEW. There's just things about that show, about AEW, about the people that I don't like. There are guys there that I think could be amazing breakout stars in the near future. We got Ricky Starks and Darby Allin and so many other guys that have good futures. But then you have some guys on there that are just there. And it's like, WWE's got the names, they've got the stars, the old stars that can come back, as well as the new up and coming stars. So I'm not surprised AEW got beaten out by WWE, both with the returning legends and with some of the younger talent that was there.
Well, I don't. Where do they go from here, though? I mean, WWE really put, or NXT really, well, WWE. Where's it say WWE? They really put out, like put all the hammers out. Like they put them all out on this show.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Well, I mean, there's one in particular that I'm sure that they're going to hold back on until they absolutely need it. Jade Cargill would be the one for me. That I would think would absolutely, and I thought this was genius that they showed Jade Cargill for 30 seconds, right, less than 30 seconds, and it made you tune in the rest of the night to see if she was coming.
Yeah,
yes.
Right? You just didn't know. You didn't know when she was coming, if she was coming. But people kind of waited around, and you'll see with some of these numbers or the numbers that I think that was a lot of what really pushed it. I know The Undertaker at the end was great, but I really think that this Jade Cargill thing is really taking NXT and WWE by storm.
Jade was meeting Sean to see if he was still feeling sunny.
Yeah. Supposedly they were in a private meeting the rest of the evening.
Well, I mean, same deal with Triple H and Fastlane. They were in a private meeting the rest of that night. So,
So is
they
Jade,
were probably
Jade already got her contract.
They were probably just ensuring her that Vince was not involved with any further paperwork.
Yep.
Hey, Hunter, you should do what I used to do.
Sean.
Take him into private. Take him into a private meeting.
Just make sure they sign the papers first.
So, AEW ratings. The 18 to 49 rating was a 0.26, which is not bad, right? Not bad. 609,000 is what they had total. 609,000. That's
And
double.
that was down from the week before where they had 800,000. If I saw my
Correct. And it was up 300,000 from Collision.
Yes.
Right.
which had 20 fans in the crowd.
Yeah, that Utah show. I think they're and we could touch on this too. WWE also had show. Let's not say that AEW is shitting the bed and they're overbooking themselves. There was a time where WWE was also canceling or looking to cancel some of these shows because the attendance was just not there, especially right before the pandemic or during the pandemic. Actually, right before the pandemic, some of these shows they were going to, they were getting less than 3,000 people. So let's not completely bury AEW for running a building that they shouldn't have run, because that's just what happens sometimes. You take a shot and then they turn around and where were they at? St. Louis? They were in Missouri for the last one, and they made it a point to pan every side of that crowd. Even I think they even took a camera into the bathroom to show that there was a line. There was so many people at this Missouri show. So, but again, it's trial and error. AEW is still, even though it's not, they're not reinventing the wheel. They're getting on the bike. There's a lot of mistakes that are going to be made by AEW, and because WWE doesn't make as many mistakes like this anymore, they're not going to get shit on, right? AEW is the almost not the lame duck, but like the punching bag. I can't believe that they ran a building that holds 20,000 people and they only had 2,500. Like that's easy stuff to do, but they're learning. They're going to learn, and they're going to play.
That was
they're
a
going to
quote
figure out.
directly from Scotty.
What's that?
That was a quote directly from Scotty.
What is that?
I can't believe they ran a show in a building that holds 20,000 and couldn't get 2,500 people.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I know that AEW and Tony Khan, and I didn't get into any of the tweets. Maybe you did, Ricky, but I know Tony Khan thinks almost too high of himself and his product at times. Yes, he's going to take a chance. He's going to take a chance on buildings like this. I guess he was probably smart. He probably think if we got one guy, we were going to get 4 wives to show up at one of this show in Utah. So if you get, if you get 3,000 guys, then you're getting 12, 13,000 people total because of all the sister wives and stuff. So actually not a bad thought. Not a bad thought by
the other thing that they didn't do in that Utah show to draw more people is advertise a hometown babyface. There was no Mormon babyface on the card to draw in the Mormons to come in. So
I tweeted at Tony Khan and I said, "Hey, listen, next time you run in Utah, I got a perfect idea for you. We have the international title. We have the F Utah. What is the title? FTW title. It doesn't matter. I say we give away. We have a tournament for the chastity belt. Right? Genius, right? For Utah. Who's not going to want to come out and see who's going to be a virgin the rest of the episode, right? We do it right in the beginning. We'll let
Hey, he just needs to create the brand new Hardway title.
I'm for it. I'm for it. Yeah, no, the chastity belt. We put it on Nyla Rose. That way, there's no reproduction there at all. So,
and then he called us bald assholes.
Yeah, they called us bald assholes. So we're getting into that. But so AEW ran 609,000 people for their rating. Their highest, I guess it was the highest point. NXT 921,000. Right under a million. Right under a million. So, so here's the kicker of that whole thing. A show that Undertaker or Cena have been on, they've never run less than 1 million people.
True.
So is it a win? Is it a win for AEW? Did they pull enough to make John Cena and Undertaker irrelevant?
No.
I think the thing is, at the end of the day, is the number one thing that people have to remember is that WWE is always going to seem in a sense, as if they have the upper hand. Yeah, we can go back in time and talk about how 83 weeks straight WCW beat WWE in the ratings and all that kind of stuff and everything. But at the end of the day, you have a brand that is so synonymous that like people are walking down the street. And I mean, obviously you hear the name John Cena, you hear the name The Undertaker, all that kind of stuff. Boom, people are going to be drawn to that no matter what. I'm an AEW guy, like I said. So the thing is, you're going to hear John Moxley, you're going to hear the Young Bucks, you're going to hear Kenny Omega, you're going to hear this and that, but that's not going to necessarily draw and grab the people's attention like they would like it to in comparison to the Undertaker or John Cena. It sucks. I don't like admitting it. It just is unfortunately what it is. But I think till the end of time, it's always going to be that way. You're going to have AEW just literally kicking the hell out of WWE nonstop, and then all of a sudden that hot tag's going to come in, slip on the banana peel, and they're going to bring back in Hulk Hogan for his, big retirement match, or they're going to do this or that or whatever, and then WWE, everybody's going to go, oh, WWE, yeah, you know that? We used to watch that when we were younger, I think that's just sadly the way that it is, no matter what. Do I think AEW is a better product? Abso-freaking-lutely. But once again, we're going off of, I guess, longevity over actual quote unquote current product.
You really think AEW is better than WWE right now?
I do. I probably will never get booked for WWE again now if this video gets out. But
don't buy the book, ladies and gentlemen. Don't buy the book.
I just do.
Let's do just a slight bit of fantasy booking here. Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
No. Okay.
I love it.
So let's just say all the stuff with Punk didn't happen. Okay.
Okay.
Punk was still there.
Okay.
If they had Punk on Dynamite versus John Cena on NXT, do you think the numbers would have been closer? Fantasy.
No. Closer, yes.
Dynamite would have had probably a few more, but I don't think it would have been enough to really close that 300K gap.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think NXT still takes it.
I think ultimately it matters what you do with these guys. Like if you bring John Cena out and he's in the corner of this guy, didn't really interest me for whatever reason. I don't know. If you take Punk and you say, hey, we're putting Punk versus Adam Cole, though people are gonna you get for the next.
No, if you got Punk versus Kenny Omega.
Next 4 weeks, next 5 weeks, yeah, that would have been a good one too.
Just with the story with him battling the Elite, that may have got some viewers to turn. But then again, you've got WWE with all their jokers in the deck there, and they pull out a Stone Cold or a Rock or Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
So
and I think people love that. I think they love that idea of like what's old is new again. And I think it gives them this warm, tingly feeling inside where they're like, oh, Stone Cold's coming back for a night. Like that's amazing. Or Undertaker or this person or that person.
And I agree
crazy.
to a point. Yes. What's old is new again, right? You bring a Hogan, you bring a Rock, you bring a Stone Cold, you bring a Randy Orton back, right? That's going to be, I mean, if I was them, I'd be like, week 3, we're probably going to be struggling on what we're going to do. Boom. Randy Orton shows up for whatever reason, RKO's Braun Breaker, stuff like that. But on the other hand, AEW is living vicariously through guys that used to be relevant, like
True. Jericho,
Edge, or Copeland coming to AEW.
Yes.
Great idea, great thing, great move by AEW. I applaud them. Is he a needle mover? I don't think so. Right? I don't think he's that much of a needle mover. I think what moved the needle was Christian saying, "Go fuck yourself." Right? And now, what do you do to top that?
Or him saying to Beth to put fresh sheets on the bed because Daddy's coming home.
That's right. I mean, that Christian is actually more of a needle mover to me than Copeland. So we'll see there. But could AEW say to Flair, "Hey,
okay,
let's get you and Jay Lethal in the ring together. We're going to pay you. I'll pay you $1 million. We'll do a tag team. You and Jay Lethal. You and Black Machismo. versus whoever you want to do, or 6-way with Andrade, whoever. Right? If we get Flair back in the ring, does that win that night for them?
No.
No.
But it's nothing against Flair. It's nothing against Flair. It's just let me think of the easiest way to put it. Okay, if you're like every week, like, and I'm not talking about like diehard fans like us. I'm talking about your average Joe just gets done a 12-hour day driving a big rig truck, everything like that. He comes home, he cracks his beer open, he sits down on the couch, and he starts flicking through the TV channels. I don't even know if he's going to get to TBS or TNT. I know here in my city in Linthicum, Channel 8 is USA. So like you start at the first channel and you work your way up. I think if he sees wrestling, he's going to stop instantly. If he was an old school wrestling fan from back in the day, wrestling's on USA. And then he doesn't look any further to even see if AEW's on the upper channels in the 20s or that kind of stuff. I mean, it's really it sounds so stupid when I say it, but it's really the breakdown of just, I'm home, I'm off of work. Oh, look, it's wrestling. I used to watch wrestling on USA about 20 years ago. Okay, I'll watch it. So I don't necessarily think they give a crap that it's NXT, Raw, SmackDown, anything like that. I just think at that point they're like, oh, there's John Cena, or there's Undertaker, or there's this or that. Now, I mean, you might have that same demographic that might run into that with TBS or TNT, and Flair and Jay Lethal are going to be on here tonight, but it's hard. The comparison is hard because, like I said, no matter what, I just think at the end of the day, WWE is always going to pull that win over anybody. And that's a terrible, like, I'm having a tough time getting that out right now. Like, I don't want them to win, honestly. I mean, I want all wrestling fans to win, but I don't want WWE necessarily to win. And I'm like, yikes, man, that's a tough
I think that the guy coming home cracking a beer, sitting down and watching no, he's definitely not leaving. The guy who sits down and cracks a beer and is flipping channels. Do people flip channels anymore?
I was about to say, what kind of TV do you got, Hardy?
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, like I said, I don't have like no crazy cable. Well, now I'm on Hulu, but I have also like a basic cable on my other TV in here. So I'm like, if I was going through basic, I'm not talking about Brian Hardy Hulu diehard wrestling fan who's got everything DVR'd and stuff. I'm talking about your basic 99 channels, and you're sitting there getting home from your trucker job, and you're like, this is on.
Yeah, well, so I think these guys are sitting down and flipping channels. They got 99 problems, but wrestling ain't one of them, right? 99 channels. So sure. I think it's a small percentage. Shout out Jay-Z. I think it's a small percentage of people. I think it's a small percentage of people that are new wrestling fans that find wrestling, right?
True.
I think flipping channels is a thing of the past. I think, and I'm the same as you. I have certain shows that I watch. If I don't watch a show, I don't know it exists. I really don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm not flipping channels. And because if I catch a show midway through, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
I'm not watching it.
And I'm that way with so many shows. Like even a prime example was Yellowstone. I didn't watch Yellowstone until about 3 seasons in. So I'd missed like the first 2 seasons because it was there and it was available for me to watch, but I just was like, whatever, and I'm like, then when you start hearing people talking, you're like, no, you really got to check the show out. It makes you kind of go, okay, maybe I should check it out. But
if you're a wrestling fan, you're a wrestling fan. If you're a Yellowstone fan, you're a Yellowstone fan. If you're, if you love soup spoons, you're going to watch Scotty. Everybody has their crowd now. I don't think it is, again, people, what time's, okay, Hardy, you're old. Well, you're 35. Were you 35, right? You're a baby.
33, yeah.
What time does Jeopardy come on?
I would say 7.
7 o'clock.
But Scotty, that's only because I had older relatives that watched it, but I wouldn't have watched it.
Scotty, what show come on before Jeopardy?
Well, see, it's different for me because the channel I watch, Wheel of Fortune, comes on at 7.
It is right. 7. I'm sorry. No, it's 6 for Wheel of Fortune, 7 for Jeopardy. Nope. You know that, right? You know that. Either way, you know that.
Yeah.
One comes on before the other, just like Night Court used to be on before Cheers.
Yeah.
It's like I could tell you that Murder
It's
She
like
Wrote used to
Jason-
be on
Jason-
before Raw back when I was.
And
a kid.
Jason
GoBots
knew
used
that
to come
Silk
on before
Stockings was on after
Transformers,
Raw.
or GoBots used to come on before GI Joe.
Yeah.
As a person that is a niche person, this is what you watch. This Brian watches wrestling. He DVRs always wrestling. Most likely doesn't watch a lot of stuff live. Every Friday, I say I'm going to sit down and watch SmackDown live. And I can't keep my eyes open or unfocused from this little tiny font.
Or lack of daddy sodas.
That being said, niche, everything's niche now, and I think if you're not a wrestling fan, you're not looking for it regardless. But I think if I was AEW and I said, hey, Rick, I'm gonna give you $1 million. I know everybody tuned into that last match he had just to wait for him to die, and he never died. It was there a couple of times where Rick looked like he was going in the ring.
Yeah.
People might tune in to see that again, right? They'll want to see his last match, right? So if you promote that, I think AEW, whatever, if you got all kinds of money, throw the money at him, right? Throw all the money at Ric Flair. Andrade's there. He can drive him to the event so he don't get Alzheimer's and get lost. So,
if Flair didn't die in the hospital when he was in a coma years ago, that just goes to prove he's dying in the ring. One way or another, he is going to go in the ring.
He said,
and I think he wants to.
Yeah, he said in the ring, or he said a lady on top of him. He said that's the only two ways to go.
Oh shit! Oldest ride, longest line.
If you're
that's my line. That's my line.
You're talking about the Tuesday Night War that just happened. Demographic wise, do you think that, like, and once again, it's a hard thing because, you know, you always hear people say 18 to 34, but like, do you think that a vast majority of the people that were tuning into NXT the other night were grown ass adults? Or do you really think like the kids in the living room, he's got his ring put and he's got his figures put and he's getting ready to play with his action figures while NXT's on? Like, what do you think the demographic is?
I think it's mostly, it's 18 to 49.
Okay.
That's 18 to 49. That was the stat that I had. I don't know how much deeper it goes. I don't have anything that goes any further. I get. That's all I have. Wait a minute.
From what the demographic of NXT skews older because a lot of the old wrestling fans this is what I have heard people say. A lot of the old wrestling fans are watching NXT because they find it reminds them most of the wrestling they liked when they were younger. A lot of the young people who are either just getting into wrestling for the first time or are, who picked it up through some means or some way, they skew more to the AEW. So you have like 18 to 25 skewing more AEW side of things.
Gotcha.
And then, it also helps that, you hear, again, if you're especially if you're an older wrestling fan, you hear, hey, John Cena's going to be on NXT, then you're going to get a lot of older fans who know the name John Cena and are like, hey, let's check this out. Or a lot of older wrestling fans who hear the name Undertaker, hey, let's check this out. So, that's why I think the demographic skewed a little different, skews a little differently. It skews younger to AEW, older to NXT. That's
right. So we're going to end it. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say, not to get off topic. I know you want to go into something else. But I'll tell you guys what was crazy to me too. And this is the only thing like chaps my ass about really badly about NXT is like the other day I'm in the grocery store and I'm walking through and I'm grabbing a couple things, whatever. And I'm wearing a Halloween Havoc chalk line jacket. And
fuck yeah, buddy. Fuck yeah.
And it's Cactus Jack and Vader on the back of the jacket. So as I'm walking through the store, these two girls stop me, and I swear they couldn't be any older than about 15, 16 years old. And they turn and look and go, excuse me, sir. They made a point to follow me. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. And I turn around and look, and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we really love your jacket. And I'm like, thanks so much. And then it messed with me it effed with me the entire time I'm walking through the grocery store because I'm sitting there thinking, we're probably not the same because my version of Halloween Havoc is what you're seeing on that jacket, and your version of Halloween Havoc is probably you thinking that I'm wearing an NXT jacket.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, I was thinking they're younger, so they're probably thinking, yeah, Jack the Pumpkin King on there somewhere.
I don't know, but it like I said, it burned me up really badly because as I'm walking through the store, I'm pushing the cart and I'm thinking they're probably thinking like Halloween Havoc, like NXT and stuff, and I'm like, like I hate how WWE does that, like how they use all the pay-per-view names and like recycle them and stuff.
Oh my God, Mr. Hardy, we're big fans of Starcade. So, all right, last word here, real quick. Oh my God, I could just go on for this. Last word, Ricky. Give me one person that AEW can bring in right now to save next Tuesday.
Currently on the roster, or just anybody?
Doesn't matter, anywhere, and it got to be alive. I mean, if they roll Brody's body in there, that would fucking work.
They got to be alive, dude. I don't fucking know, and they don't have anybody on their roster, to my knowledge, right now that is capable of overtaking NXT if NXT pulls Taker again, or Cena, or Stone Cold, or Rock.
I don't think they'll
Hogan.
do Taker again. I don't think you're gonna do Taker again. That would be silly to do Taker too.
Well, it depends on if Tony Khan comes out running his yap again, like he's been doing on Twitter. And apparently, from what I read, like he just tweets shit, and his producers and whatnot says he just does it. He doesn't get anybody to tell him to shut his damn mouth and stop.
He's the Donald Trump of wrestling. Yes, he's the Donald Trump of wrestling.
Yeah. I've got one.
How'd he go?
He's dead, but Zombie Luthez. Let's get
He said they've got to be alive.
He's technically alive. I mean, he's come back from the dead. You know,
Gangrel. Bring Gangrel back. Reform the Brood.
Oh,
that's
hey.
I like that a lot.
Not a bad idea. Won't go with what they're doing now. Brian Hardy, give me one person that they can bring back right now to save Tuesday night.
It's not going to happen because it's going to happen tonight, but AEW should have been really smart, and I would have put any amount of zeros behind it. They should have got Nick Aldis, and apparently Nick Aldis is
supposed to the fucking ball there. Yeah, but is Nick Aldis moving the needle?
I have no clue, but the thing is, they're saying that he's going to debut tonight on SmackDown, and I'm like, once again, telephone, telegram, telewrestler. We'll have to wait and watch and see. But the reality of it is I'm going, bro. If so, AEW really dropped the ball with that.
All right, let's look at the chat real quick. Facebook is getting lit up here. The hell with ATCW champ Hardy for president.
Yeah.
Does the book come with blonde hair, dye packed? Does the book come with blonde hair, dye packed, and at least a discount on awesome sunglasses? Chucky Manson said he got his book for free, just stole it off a gimmick table.
Yeah,
you might want to check your inventory. Owen Hardy, 3 less toe. Owen. Is that 2 of ATC's best on the pod? I don't know that Scotty's on here. Robbie, Hunter Hamilton, Robbie Wayne for ATCW heavyweight champion. Now we got some shit talk in the chat. Where did I go here?
Are you on YouTube or Facebook?
I'm on Facebook right now. Got to watch both at the same time. NXT was better at consistent wrestling, unlike Undertaker's spine walking up the steps. AEW funnier promos and content. You know, I do give AEW one thing. AEW stayed in their stories and they continue to move forward with things. Bring in the Undertaker, bring in John Cena, bring in whoever, doesn't matter. They didn't do NXT a service by just doing that and not forwarding anything that they had, right? They didn't make any stories any better except for the Baron Corbin
Dragunov thing.
He's gonna be, other than that, Undertaker, it doesn't do anything when you bring guys in like that aren't going to be here next week. It's one thing Chucky and I have always talked about. We have a current roster of guys for ATCW, and we kind of stick with those guys. We bring some new guys in, like Brian Hardy, every once in a while, and we're starting to now feature Brian Hardy. Right? You've had a couple one-off matches. We don't do a lot of one-off matches anymore because we're very story driven, and we want story. We want stories to make sense, and bringing in a guy to if he's not getting smashed or crushed or whatever, bringing him in to go over, what are we saying, right? Is this unless we build it? Like if we're not building it, we're not bringing it in. So again, I don't believe they did themselves.
When do we get to see Brian Hardy squash Jeremy Stone?
Well, it's not happening because Jeremy's the fucking dog, and I love you, Brian. The book's fucking horrible, but you're not winning. You're not beating Jeremy Stone.
Jonathan Cross has entered the chat.
Jesus Christ! I mean, what?
No. See, I think there needs to be a one-off. Ricky Walker versus Jeremy Stone. I guarantee you, Ricky will just demolish Jeremy.
Doesn't matter, Scotty. Your phone will go dead before you get to watch it. Now you did it. Now you did it. You angered him.
Guys, just start your dance. Start your dance. You'll be good. There you go.
Okay, back to the chat here.
You got to do that in your next ATCW entrance.
Yes,
I might. It's gonna be a while. Do you guys think NXT would have beat AEW without main roster talent? I think we just covered that. No, they haven't. They didn't beat them on Wednesday night without main roster talent. Yeah. I don't think they could have beat them without it, honestly. So, how long before they put Jade against Natty? Well, we all know Natty is the gatekeeper for NXT or AEW or WWE. So, I don't know that they're going to put her against Natty. It wouldn't make sense to. I think Jade is bigger than that. You guys think that they should put her against Natty?
Unless she's coming in like full on heel mode and they're just going to have her just like run through and just squash a bunch of people to start. I mean, Natty would be one, but why waste her? Why waste her doing that?
Yeah. The only way that, and a lot of times Natty works with whoever they're pushing at the time or whoever they're getting ready to push, she'll work with them and then she'll have a match with them. So she is the gatekeeper. So we might see a Jade versus Natty. NXT's regular quality was as good as Corey Tiny Feet Bush running across the ring. Take it how you want.
What?
Oh, hey, this is a good one. A good one that AEW could bring in.
Yeah, I just saw that. Goldberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that would have serious drawing power. Look, the thing is when they pulled Sting, it literally, once again, we talked about that nostalgia vibe and stuff that people get with WWE. That's what they were getting on AEW because they're already considering AEW to be the WCW of today. But then you bring Sting back. Next, you bring Goldberg back. If we had maybe a one-nighter again with maybe DDP or something like that, then you're going to start turning heads. Then you're going to start really getting people talking. Everybody's going to say, nobody wants to see all the old guys anymore. Bring them back.
I had Goldberg's music hit after Wardlow had just power bombed Matt Sydal through the bottom of the floor.
Exactly.
All right, ask me who I bring in.
Who you bring in? Jonathan
Disco
Cross.
Inferno.
Oh god. He just wants to dance.
Yeah.
I just want to dance, Brian. I just want to dance. All right. We're gonna move on. That was a long topic. Good job, guys. That was great. Vince is out of creative. Vince is fired.
Can't see him anymore.
About damn time.
We have seen this 37 times this year. Vince is out. Vince is in. Vince is out. Vince is in. Vince is in. Vince is out. Vince is tearing up scripts. Vince is rewriting. Vince is out again. Vince has broke his neck. Vince is Vince is sending out NDAs. Vince is signing NDAs. Vince is selling the company. Vince is out again. Vince is in again. Vince is out.
We've heard more of Vince getting out than the paralegal did.
So, is this true? Do you believe this is true? I know there was an issue with they're blaming the ratings dump on Vince.
Vince's crap booking, and the CEO of Endeavor is also blaming the drop of the TKO stock on Vince.
Gotcha. So do you think that this is Scotty, do you think this is a real thing? Are we just is it just this week's flavor?
Well, it is an interesting question to think about. And I don't think it's just the flavor of the week for Endeavor. I think, as I've said a million times in the past, when this whole deal was coming up, and I was like, because Vince signed a new contract right before the Endeavor deal went through. And I was like, what happens when Endeavor fully takes over and they realize that Vince is the cause of 90% of their problems, whether it's the PR image of the company, whether the tanking ratings due to Vince's bad booking, whatever. Like, what are they going to do when they see Vince as the issue? And
don't forget the locker room morale,
the whole 9 yards. So, the fact that they're now publicly saying this, that Vince is the cause of this after the company's been bought, and what taking Vince's control completely away from him and giving it fully to Triple H is a big step. And it's like, all right, now will Vince be back? I mean, who knows? Vince may get a whole bunch of lawyers together. He may get freaking whoever his main lawyer is, and
Stephen
find
P.
a way to find find
news.
He might find a way to Endeavor and take over Endeavor. Who the heck knows?
He's not taking over Endeavor.
Yeah, hey, he came back into his own company after they kicked him out. Who knows what might happen? But if they do if Endeavor does what I think they're going to do, they're going, now that they've shit canned him out of creative, they're going to basically null and void his contract and be like, all right, you are no longer with this company whatsoever. And then all they have to do is find a way to get Vince to unload what stock he has and
find a way. Good luck.
I mean, again, Vince does have the option to sell at any point at any time. So, they get a buyer together. And, they're like,
Vince would sell Linda, Shane, and Stephanie first.
Absolutely. So, Brian, you've smacked Vince in the mouth a couple times. What do you think? Do you this guy is like a cockroach. You can step on him all you want.
I heard cock. I was wondering where he was going with it.
It's gonna be the most unpopular thing ever said, but one thing we can't take away is Vince is a visionary. Vince is a genius. At the end of the day, people will say, he's a scumbag, he's this, he's that, he's whatever. At the end of the day, we wouldn't be sitting here right now having this conversation about what we're having about if Vince didn't have the vision to put all this together. And I mean, we're not talking about the same vision as Dad had or anything like that. We're talking about the global empire that he single-handedly created once he made a purchase from his dad. So I'm going to be honest. When I saw that pop up online this morning and I read that headline, the first thing I thought as I was laying in bed is, wow, I can see what's going to happen over the course of the next couple months. Something's going to go wrong. He's going to act like he's just taking the beat down from them. And then he's going to end up, I got to agree with Scotty on that one. He's going to end up coming out on top. And it wouldn't surprise me if he wipes out every single guy in that TKO brand or whatever and literally ends up owning everything again, because it doesn't matter where there is piles of shit laying. That guy always comes out smelling like a rose. Right. I mean, at the end of the day, that's just where that was where my train of thought went right to, like, wow, Vince is like probably realized like that he can't trust these guys because they're all trying to turn on him, and he's going to end up knocking it out of the park. And I mean, we're even talking about guys like Nick Khan. Like, we're talking about guys that you don't think like Vince is all like, yeah. And then before you know it, it's going to be like, I bought my competition, damn it. Like, and it's just
good.
Yeah.
And then after that, do we have Shane show up in Daly's place to take on Tony Khan? for AEW. He'll blow his quads out, and then there'll be the invasion of 20 whatever. The AEW invasion angle.
Yeah, anything's. I mean, never say never in pro wrestling, but definitely never say never when it comes to Vince McMahon.
Vince has been around a long time, and I don't care who tells him or what tells him, there ain't enough money in the world to get this guy out of the business.
Mark?
Triple H is one pillow away from doing it.
Hold on, Brian's got a call.
It's Vince, Mark. Yeah. Tony Khan's really fucking up. Yeah, we're gonna need you. We're gonna need you. Come out last ride. Choke slam. Good shit. That's shit. And he hangs up the phone. He's like, "We got the ratings. God damn it. Yeah."
That's how you do it, Trips.
Hey, there you go. Week 4, they're looking like they're gonna lose the ratings. The next thing you hear, no chance. And he's like, walks down to NXT, and he's like, he goes, "Oh, I hate the color scheme." All right, well, Vince is out for now until next week. We'll see how it goes. Poor Triple H. No wonder he had a heart attack.
Oh boy.
Let's move on. Nick Aldis is supposed to make his debut tonight in AEW. Unfortunately, not AEW. WWE. So I'm confused about Nick Aldis. I've watched him in Impact. I've seen him in NWA. What is wrong with him that he's not wrestling? The guy looks like $1 million. Why is he not wrestling? Is he hurt?
I think it's politics. I really do. I think all around the board. And he had his falling out with Billy Corgan. He had his falling out with some people at WWE, although because his wife worked there, he says that that's not true. And he's had his go around with Impact Wrestling. I think this time they're going to keep him. And I think WWE is going to have him on board just because they know that if he went to AEW, that he could be a serious competitor there. And I think there's a lot of eyes on him. And I don't know. I think he's amazing. That's all I can really say.
Aldis is married to Mickie James, correct?
James. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how this. I don't understand. I just don't understand why this guy isn't a talent. Why they're not putting him in the ring. I mean, they don't need to. But I mean, if you've seen this guy wrestle, he's better than most. Like he is a top. If they put him in, he's absolutely going right to the mid card title scene. Right to the mid card title scene.
He's not beating Gunther.
I mean, why not? Why not?
I'd rather see, like Scotty said, I'd rather see Braun Breaker come up and do it.
Yeah.
Braun or
Elio.
Yeah, Ilya Dragunov. One of those two should be the ones to dethrone Gunther. Funny, I was actually talking to a guy the other day at Walmart who's a wrestling fan, and we were just saying, why haven't they brought Ilya up? That's a whole conversation for another time, but you know my feelings on Ilya. He's worth every penny. But here's the thing, going to Aldis really quick. Two things about Aldis. One, I don't think he's going to wrestle until he is being given what he's due for, like, to be a wrestler. Hence why, like, he went to Impact, he went to NWA, he had good runs, but it was one of those things that, like, he knows what he's worth. So he, like what Brian said, the politics. Like, he's not necessarily politicking his way into the main event, but he's saying, look, I know what I'm worth. I'm going to wrestle where I know I'm worth, when I get what I'm worth for who I am.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the big thing of why he's not been in the ring for quite a while. It's like, no, I'll wrestle when and where I want. And dude, it saves his body too, because when he's not wrestling, he puts more life into his career than he could. And not just life as far as, his physical condition, but people are talking about him. People want to know where Nick Aldis is going to go. They want to see how he's going to handle things. And, that talk is what's going to get him even more hyped, in other people's ears, the right people to get him hired. And again, if he's making his debut tonight, which again, I is this a confirmed thing or is this still speculation that he's supposed to debut tonight on SmackDown?
I think this
it's
is also
confirmed.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
So the fact that it is now confirmed that he is debuting on SmackDown, this again just hypes the talk about him even more. Great, now we get to see what Nick Aldis can do in a situation.
Yeah, but he's not wrestling; he's an agent.
So this is what I find to be crazy. I was getting ready to say that. That to me is insane because, and once again, the thing is Adam Pearce is a good friend of mine, and Adam Pearce, in my personal opinion, he would tell you complete opposite if he was on here right now. He would tell you, I like where I'm at.
Can you get him on here?
And this and that and whatever.
Can you get him on here?
I don't know.
Can you get all Ironside in here?
Scrap iron.
Scrap iron, that's what it is.
But the
wrong
thing
transformer, my bad.
He would probably tell you right now that he's happy with where he's at, and I'm sitting here going, AP, why aren't you on there wrestling, man? Like, you should be on there wrestling. But I'm not saying he's not valuable behind the scenes to the company, and obviously since the last couple of years they've put him on air where he's doing the GM deal now or whatever and this and that. But I'm like, why do they got all these guys that are so incredibly talented just backstage running stuff and not actually out there doing it? But it's working smart and not hard. And just as Scotty said a second ago, I can relate to this on the independents. I would much rather sit at home for months and just people forget about who I am. So that way, when I actually go out there, I can make my money. I can do my craft. I can do this. I can do that. I've done everything that there is to do in pro wrestling. And it's not an ego thing or anything. It's just me sitting there going, yeah, like if it push comes to shove at the end of the day, like I just won't be there. Like I do it and I'm there because I want to be there. Or if I don't want to be there and I'm not making money and I'm not doing this and that, then I'll just go sit at home. Like I'm not a mark in that sense of the business. Like where these guys like I said, I hate even using the term mark because like I just think wrestling fans are awesome, but I'm not a mark for myself in that sense of the business where it's like, I got to be seen. I got to constantly be out there. I got to be this. I got to be that. It's like, I know who I am. I know what I can do in the ring. If people want to book me, cool. And if they don't want to book me, I'm not going to be that guy that like chases it down and texts every 5 seconds and says like, would you please use me? Please, please, please use me. You know, I do that for everybody else.
He doesn't seem like a guy that doesn't politic though.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. But I think, like I said, I think he's realized over the last couple of years too, though, that it's not only him. He has a wife to worry about too that's around the business. So it's like he doesn't want to make Mickey look bad, you know, or whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, bro, if they are bringing Nick Aldis on to just be an on-screen personality and not actually wrestle, I'm going to lose my freaking mind because the guy just oozes charisma and is so good.
$1 million. The guy's $1 million.
One other thing. Okay, they could be saying they're bringing him in as a backstage personality and stuff like that. If they put him on screen and get him involved with something like even just like, you know, as like an agent, a manager, or a whatever you want to call it, like a GM position, I think it will end up leading to him actually wrestling at some point, because if they get him involved in something, like they haven't done it with Adam Pearce, which is fine, but if they get him involved in something, it's kind of like oh gosh, well, there was an angle a while back there. I wish I could remember who it was, where they brought a guy in. They said he's not going to wrestle. He's just it was Samoa Joe. That's what it was. It was Samoa Joe bodyguarding Riddle, and they said, you know, I don't know what that was. That was not on my.
That was my dogs. My bad.
Is everybody okay over there, Brian?
Yeah,
I thought the soup spoon fell off the wall and hit something.
They said
somebody slid on the linoleum.
Yeah, there he is.
Hey, watch out! There's a cat.
Bodyguard.
My cat would eat that dog.
No, it was Samoa Joe coming to bodyguard Regal on NXT, and they said he's not going to wrestle. He's not going to wrestle, and then all of a sudden they turned it around, and he got involved in something, and they flipped it and made it. You know, got him into the ring wrestling a match.
Yeah, it lasted 2 weeks because Regal's contract is up and he went to AEW.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that they could do the same deal with Aldis, get him involved in something. And, he's like, well, I'm not going to wrestle. And then they push him to the point where he does wrestle because he has to defend his honor or whatnot. So that kind of thing, I think, could be a very big possibility. But the other thing I wanted to say, what Brian said, was, well, darn it. My brain just went completely blank. Forget about it.
Think about it a second. Kevin Erickson, Deadpool. He said, true story. Watch Aldis and Alexander James in a PCW match in Charlestown. James had the flu and threw up in the ring for about 10 minutes. Dubbed the puke match.
He's gonna puke.
He's gonna puke.
I'll never forget it. And I bought James a t-shirt over Aldis's, and that's my lame story. So.
Awesome.
I remember what it was.
Scott, you're the last word on this. Then we're gonna get into some trivia.
Off of what Brian said, the one other thing with all and something like what you do, Brian, there's an expression, how do you do if you don't go away? In your case, Brian, talking about, you'd rather sit at home and not push yourself out there. But those people who know you, who are like, man, we know this guy, we love him. Where is he working? Why isn't he, it gets people talking about you. It's the same thing with all this. I think that's, again, what they're going to do with him. I'm hoping what they will do with him is get people talking. Why isn't he wrestling? Why isn't he wrestling? And then when it's the right time, get him to wrestle. Why we haven't, he's gone away.
Weird. Jason doesn't know this. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
Jason doesn't know this, but this is a prime example, okay? And it's not to let anybody in on the inner workings of the business and stuff like that, but this is the nitty gritty right here at Hardway. So I don't think I was even booked for October for ATCW, right? And yeah, and I was like, man, like I don't even honestly know if I'm going to be booked here the next time. But I finished my match with Ethan Cross, and as I'm walking to the back, everybody's yelling, title match, and I knew right away, like in my mind, like I'm like, even if I'm not booked, I'm booked for next month, like because those people, like it didn't have anything to do with the talent or the promoters. It had to do with those people, and like they knew what they wanted. So I'm like, yeah, it's such a crazy balance. Nick Aldis knows, like, if you've ever watched his match with Cody from All In, man, like that match alone speaks volumes of how freaking great of a wrestler he is. And I'm just like, man, it's nuts.
Yep. Do you want to go behind the curtain here, or do you want to do it offline?
I don't know. That doesn't matter. I'm good with whatever.
Because I mean, when it comes to doing the booking, I got the pencil, sir. So
that's fantastic.
There were lots of plans with you, Brian. You were going to be booked in October. You were going to be booked in November. You were going to be booked in January. You were going to be booked in February, whether you fucking liked it or not. Right? until I get a figure, or a
readable book font.
Yeah, please, or I get to write the forward, or I end up on one of those trading cards. You were going to be.
Do you realize this is why I come on this show, right? Because you guys sit here and make me laugh at like half the stuff that you guys say.
You're an easy target.
I don't.
Jason just wants a flip book of him doing the Prince Nana dance.
And you just said cards, man, and we got the new series in today.
Look at that. Series number 3.
Look at that Owen Maverick right there, man.
We know what we call that in the business there, Brian. We call it a softball.
Boom. Huck Sawyer.
Oh, that guy's a bad guy.
Yeah, man. I think I know this guy. Bam.
He's got great breasts.
It's chop suey.
He's topless.
Adam Armstrong, baby.
Oh, he's got a stunning Steve Austin type of look.
Yeah, man.
And just out of curiosity, any relation to the actual Armstrong family?
No, he's a
fucking Hardy.
I was gonna say he's related to me.
Ah,
he's a Hardy.
That's my
should have
brother.
never. You should have never told him. You should have kayfabe. You should have told him.
Yeah, I was gonna say I should have kayfabed him because I'm like, he's not here right now, but he lives downstairs. I'm like, he is this guy. I'm like, this kid's out in the living room almost missing a toe right now. I'm like, and this guy is in the other room right now feeding a baby. my wife was just in here rocking the baby to sleep, and now he's in the other room feeding.
It's very possible at some point we're gonna get one of these guys walking past the camera in their underwear.
Well, it's funny. It was funny because Huck said he was like, "I'm just gonna bust in on the middle of your interview and just start beating you down like crazy." He was like, "We're just gonna use that footage."
How that would be awesome, bro. That would be awesome.
Can the kid wheelchair himself in there in his referee shirt?
He can.
And then your wife's gonna have to use your phone as the camera so we can all see the beatdown.
That's right.
All right, well, let's get this.
Wait. This will be the introduction of the new Hardway title, 24/7.
Oh, I love it. 365, 24/7, 7-Eleven.
I-95, Eurocontinental.
Yep, there you go.
301. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you guys. We're gonna give everybody 30 seconds. Scotty, you're gonna get to pick your topic. Ricky, you get to pick a topic, and Mr. Hardy, you get to pick your topic. And we'll give you 30 seconds. You got 10 questions, and hopefully, I can read them fast enough that we'll get through the time.
Is the font big enough?
We'll see how many.
Is the font big enough?
I blow it up on my computer, bro. Blow it up on my computer.
Don't read the answers.
Yeah, we'll go. Ricky, I'm gonna keep scoring on my digital scorekeeper here.
It's Pete.
It's scorekeeper.
All right.
Oh boy.
So who would like to go first?
Oh, you already called Scotty out.
All right, Scott.
All right.
Scotty, we're gonna see. So this is all 80s. This is gonna be 80s trivia. So here are your categories. There's a bunch of categories here. So we're gonna go the golden age of WWE, WWF 1980, the golden age of WWE Part 4. Oh shit, there's a bunch. There's a golden age Part 3. There's a Welcome to Piper's Pit. WWF 1989. When it was the WWF in 1980. And WWF 1987. So we got the golden age and a bunch of dates.
Let's go with 89.
89. Multiple choice question here. Okay, we got 10 questions. I'm going to, you know what? I'm not putting a time limit on it, right? I'm not putting a time on it.
I do have to go to work soon.
All right, we'll get through this real quick here.
Now, I dude, 9 o'clock. I got plenty of time.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. All right, Scott, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, question number 1. On January 7th, 1989 edition of Saturday Night Main Event, the Red Rooster. That's why we're not doing the clock, because I'm going to be dancing. The Red Rooster had his long-awaited falling out with his manager Bobby the Brain Heenan. Each blamed each other when the Rooster lost his match. Who was the opponent on the card? Now, here is your multiple choice answers. Rick Martel, Coco Beware, Tito Santana, or Hillbilly Jim.
Ooh,
it was hot in 1989.
I'm going to go with, so it was Coco, Tito, Rick Martel, and Hillbilly
Jim. Yep.
Oh, God. 89. I'm not for sure on this. So the first name that pops in my mind is Coco, so I'm going Coco Beware.
Okay, we're gonna pick Coco. Okay. Next question. On January 7th, 1989, edition of Saturday Night Main Event, Brutus the Barber Beefcake lived up to his name by shaving his head. Oh, shaving the head of a longtime rival. Who lost their locks to the barber on that night? Dangerous Danny Davis, the Honky Tonk Man, Outlaw Ron Bass, or my man Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Greg Valentine.
All right, you're going with Greg Valentine
that night,
right? All right. Question number 3. Well, I have them all at the end. Okay, I have them all at the end. You get at least 3 hints if you need it.
Okay.
All right. On January 15th, 1989, the WWF presented the 1989 Royal Rumble. In one of the undercard matches, veteran woman wrestler Judy Martin, we all remember Judy, right? Challenged for the WWF Women's title. Who was the champion on that night? Sensational Sherry, Wendy Richter, the Fabulous Moolah, or Rockin' Robin?
This one's a tough one. I want to go with I would go with Moolah, but at the same time, I can't remember if she was still.
You do get a hint, sir, if you'd like a hint.
One hint.
One hint. There we go. It has gotten rid of Wendy Richter and Fabulous Moolah. Your answers are Sensational Sherry or Rockin' Robin.
Rockin' Robin. That's what I was thinking, but I was like, I couldn't. I was like, did she hold the belt at that point? But yeah, I'm pretty.
Axis Smash, aka the Demolition, started the Royal Rumble off in an exciting way by drawing numbers 1 and 2 respectively. Also, by way of a crooked deal with Ted DiBiase, the Big Boss Man, and Akeem, aka the Twin Towers, entered back to back. The third tag team also entered the match, one number apart from each other, virtually unnoticed. Who was the tag team? Powers of Pain, the Rockers, the Bushwhackers, or the Brainbusters?
89. Okay. The Bushwhackers, Brainbusters.
Yes, they're all 89.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I'm trying to think who was there in 89.
The Young Bucks is not an answer.
Yeah.
That's back when you were just a baby soup spoon.
I am going to go with.
You have another hint if you need it. 5 seconds.
I'm gonna go with Brainbuster.
All right, we're gonna click the Brainbusters here. Okay, speaking of Ted DiBiase, in 1989, I guess he became tired of trying to win a title and decided to make his own title. What did DiBiase call his self-made title?
The $1 million title.
Yeah, don't even bother with the multiple choice.
Is it the $1 million belt?
Eddie's
title, the silver strap, or DiBiase's diamond belt?
No, the $1 million title.
Oh shit! Yeah. None of them which hold up his pants. On April 2nd, 1989, the WWF presented WrestleMania 5, which was held in the second straight year at Trump Plaza. Beside Roddy Piper, which other WWF legend decided to make his return at this event? We got Jimmy Superfly Snuka, brother, Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat, Big John Studd, or Bruno Sammartino?
89. Okay, so the WrestleMania.
10 seconds.
Let's go with. Okay, hold on. Give me the 4. I know Bruno. Give me the other 3 again.
Snooker, Steamboat, Stud, and Sammartino. 5 seconds.
I think it was Steamboat.
3, 2. Yeah. All right, we're going with Steamboat. Okay. WrestleMania 5 was a special event for Bobby the Brain Heenan because the late great Rick Rude defeated the Ultimate Warrior for the WWF Intercontinental title, giving Heenan his first title in almost 5 years with the WWF. What did Heenan do to the Warrior which helped Rude get the victory? Punch him with a foreign object, throw a cup of beer in his face, hit him with a steel chair, or pulled and then held the Warrior's leg down while Rude pinned him.
I think it was the leg, if I remember correctly. So yeah.
All right. One of the featured matches saw Jake the Snake Roberts battle Andre the Giant, with Big John Studd serving as a guest referee, attempting to eliminate Jake's intimidation of Andre with his pet, Damien. Another heel attacked Jake before the bout and tried to steal the snake. Who was it? Mr. Perfect, Honky Tonk Man, Ted DiBiase, or Bad News Brown? Mr. Perfect, Honky Tonk Man, Ted DiBiase, or Bad News Brown? 5 seconds.
Bad News Brown. I don't
Perfect.
remember that at all.
In a television incident in the spring of 1989, the fabulous Rougeau brothers sparked a heated rivalry with the popular rockers Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. What did they do to start the feud? He was a referee. Greg Valentine. In the spring, Greg Valentine was Robert. Oh, wait a minute. I'm on the wrong one. Yeah, I'm on the wrong one. Yeah. No, I'm on the right one. The spring of '89, Greg Valentine defeated rival Ronnie Garvin in a match with the What? Where did that?
No, that's you just talking about the Rockers and.
Oh, my screen keeps popping here. My bad. In a television incident in the spring of 1989, the fabulous Rougeau brothers sparked a heated rivalry with the Rockers, Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels. What did they do to start the feud? Shave their heads, broke Jannetty's hand, knocked them out, and put a dress on them, injured Michaels' throat.
Why do I feel like that was Michael's throat that they injured? I'm going with that one.
Okay. Last question. In the spring of 1989, Greg Valentine defeated rival Ronnie Garvin in a match with a stipulation that the loser had to retire. Sticking around with the WWF, what did Garvin do during his brief retirement? He was a referee. He was a timekeeper. He was a color commentator. He became manager.
No clue on that one. I remember the retirement, but I don't remember what he did afterwards. So I'm going to say color commentator.
We're going with color commentator. Okay, let's.
I know that one.
Submit my answers. Let's see how bad we were. Okay. Your first match was wrong. It wasn't Coco Beware. It was the Saturday Night Main Event Red Rooster. It was Tito Santana.
I was Tito, but I went. Damn it.
The Saturday Night Main Event, Brutus Barber Beefcake cut or shaved the head of the lots of not Greg the Hammer Valentine, because that would never fucking happen, bro. Outlaw Ron Bass. You got Rockin' Robin.
Hold up. I know Valentine got his head shaved somewhere, wasn't it?
Okay. Well, it was at his barber, and that wasn't the question. All right. You got question 3. It was Rockin' Robin. Question 4. It was the Brain Busters. That was where they entered. One right after another. You got the $1 million belt right. Yep. The Roddy Piper, the WrestleMania 5 second straight year, Trump Plaza. It was not Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. It was Shaka, brother. Shaka. Jimmy Superfly.
Oh,
I knew that one.
Pulled and held the Warrior's leg. That was correct. It was the one who featured match saw Jake the Snake Roberts battle Andre the Giant. With Stud as the referee. It was not Bad News Brown. It was Ted DiBiase.
Oh, it was DiBiase. Okay.
You were correct about injuring Michael's throat.
Yep, that's what I remember.
That was the match. He lost his smile and his throat, I heard. In the spring of 1989, Greg Valentine defeated his rival Ronnie Garvin in the stipulation match. He was he wasn't a color commentator. He was a referee. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm 50.
I'll tell you a little crazy side story about Ronnie Garvin real fast. I was with Ronnie Garvin 2 years ago. Most people didn't realize this, and it was funny because I thought you were going to say that in that last trivia question. Ronnie Garvin, most people don't know, was actually a pilot for the WWF and did private jets and stuff for Vince while he worked for WWF.
Wow.
Yeah.
Going back to the Rougeau one, I thought the answer was going to be piss off the Bulldogs and get them involved.
Yeah, I was waiting. I thought that was the question too. I thought it was going to be like, what team did the Rougeaus get in a fight with backstage?
Now,
like,
what was Ronnie Garvin the pilot on the plane that Ric Flair pulled his penis out on?
no, not in the slightest.
Not that one.
No, not in the slightest. But he did.
Did Scotty fall off a
apparently
chair?
did
Guys,
like
I'm
they,
out.
I think they said like a solid year. He told me that he did with flying for WWF, but then he said that they wanted to stop double paying him because they wanted to stop paying him to be a talent and to be a pilot at the same time.
Gotcha.
Wow.
All right. Scotty, you decide who goes next, Ricky or Brian Hardy.
I want to see the legend that is Brian Hardy go. I want to see how good he does.
All right, Brian. WWF 1980, the Golden Age Part 2. The Golden Age. No, not the Golden Age Part 2. We just did that one. The Golden Age Part 4. The Golden Age Part 3. Welcome to Piper's Pit. The Golden Age Part 6. We have the Golden Age Part 2. That's a lot of Golden Age.
Just hit me with one of the Golden Age.
When it was the 80s, 1980 WWF. Here's one that says all the answers are moolah.
Did you read that? Did you read that right? You sure it doesn't say all the answers are Mella?
Oh.
Let's go with I don't care any of the 80s stuff.
Okay, well,
I thought it was all 80s.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all 80s.
Well, you said Golden Age. Golden
away
Age.
from-
This one's gonna be a tough one. Okay, Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund's 6-year WWF Heavyweight Championship reign was nearly interrupted on November 19th, 1981, with the title when the title was held up after one match in Madison Square Garden. After a match in Madison Square Garden because of the winner couldn't be determined. Who was Backlund's opponent in this match? Ken Patera, Greg Valentine, Jimmy Snooker, Larry Zbyszko.
I'm gonna say Ken Patera.
Ken Patera. Okay. Number 2. Who was the first African American to win the WWE Tag Team Championship?
That was Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas.
Okay. I won't even give you the right answer then. Okay. Who wrestled the Iron Sheik in a boot camp match to defend America's honor?
Sergeant Slaughter.
June of 1984.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter. I don't even gotta look at that one. How many years had the Fabulous Moolah held the WWE Women's Championship when she lost to Wendy Richter at the Brawl to settle it all? 8 years, 18 years, 28 years, or 12 years?
I'm going to say 18 years.
18 years. Okay. That probably took her. That's how long it took Wendy to pay Moolah off.
Yeah.
What object did Bob Orton repeatedly use as a weapon throughout 1985?
The cast on his arm.
I love that. I don't even have to give you the yeah, whatever. Anyway, on a July 1985 edition of Championship Wrestling, managers Jimmy Hart, Bobby Heenan, Johnny Valiant, Freddie Blassie, and Mr. Fuji came to the ring during a match to bid for the services of a high-profile newcomer. Who was it? Ted DiBiase? Oh, Christ. King Kong Bundy, Randy Savage, or Hercules Hernandez?
Hercules Hernandez.
In the fall of 1986, Scotty's kicking himself right now. In the fall of 1986, the WWE began airing promotional vignettes of a wrestler who hailed from Australia's Northern Territory.
Outback Jack.
You know what? Don't even give me a category because Brian's already won.
Yeah.
Who'd you say it was, Brian?
Outback Jack.
On an October 1987 edition of Saturday Night Main Event, Randy Savage, competed in a face turn when Hogan saved him from an attack by a heel gang. Who led the attack? The Big Boss Man, the Honky Tonk Man, Bad News Brown, or Roddy Piper?
Wait, what year was that?
On October on an October 1987 edition of Saturday Night's Main Event, Randy Savage completed a face turn when Hogan saved him from an attack by Heel Gang, who
Honky
led
Tonk
the
Man.
attack. Honky Tonk Man, the best Intercontinental Champion ever.
Well,
Which tag team squared off against itself when its member drew first and second in the 1989 Royal Rumble?
didn't we already ask Scotty this one?
Demolition, yeah.
Is it Demolition? Okay.
Yeah.
That was Scotty's question because it was who came in the third
Number
tag
one.
Well, that
team.
was
Really,
part. I think they said Demolition was 1 and 2. Then it was the Rock or whoever it was. Yeah, that was part of another. These are all different though. Besides, if you hang around long enough, you're going to go to know the answers to all of them. Besides being wrestlers who performed for the WWE in the 1980s, what do Hulk Hogan, Harley Race, the Ultimate Warrior, Stan Hansen, Kamala, and the Masked Superstar have in common?
They all were in films.
They were all in the card at the 1980 Showdown at Shea. They were all former WWE heavyweight champions. They were all managed by Freddie Blassie. They all body slammed Andre the Giant.
They all body slammed Andre the Giant.
Okay, we're gonna submit these. We're gonna see. Oh wow, Brian is not as smart as we thought he was. Okay, the Bob
I was
Backlund
thinking about that first one.
All right, so it was Greg Valentine. It had to be Greg Valentine. He doesn't. Yeah, you picked Ken Patera. You got the Rocky Johnson right. You got the Sergeant Slaughter right. That's 2. It wasn't 18 years for Moolah. It was 28 years. Remember, she held it forever.
Yeah, I figured
she held it forever because she was never putting anyone over.
Yeah, she held.
Was that Vince's first NDA?
That was the first time that he gave someone DNA. Bob Orton.
I thought Scotty was falling out of his chair there.
Bob Orton. It was the cast. 1, 2.
Ass over tea kettle.
3. You got the Hercules Hernandez wrong. It was Randy Savage.
Wow.
They all were trying to. They were all trying, and I knew that one. That's why I started laughing because I actually knew one. They were all bidding on. Outback Jack was correct. Where I didn't even get the answer out. The Honky Tonk Man that's who led the attack. That was correct. Demolition. That was correct. And they all slammed Andre the Giant. Brian Hardy got 3 wrong. That's a total of 7. You beat Scotty by 2.
Yep.
Which is weird because everybody always talks about how Harley Race was like the very first person to ever slam Andre, and there's a photo of it, but it's not. People don't talk about it a lot.
Are you sure? Because Hogan slammed Andre in Japan multiple times.
Yeah, but I think the Harley thing with Andre was like 79 or something like that.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, Ricky, what do you think here? You want to take a shot at this?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay.
What did you say there was one of 87? 1987.
There was an 87 in here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find her. I think it was at the end. Yep. WWF 1987.
Let's go with that.
Indeed. It was a banner year. Okay. On 1987, Ricky Steamboat returned to the ring after suffering a crushed larynx at the hands of the Dragon made his return by defeating this famous mid-1980s jobber. Who was he? Iron Mike Sharp, Steve Lombardi, Tiger Chen Lee, or Barry O?
Shit.
Shit.
Give me Lombardi.
That's who I would have went with. I love Iron Mike Sharp too. What was that thing he wore on his wrist?
It was just like a metal.
Never illegal.
Yeah.
I actually looked at Brooklyn Brawler better.
Yeah.
All right. So so Steve Lombardi, not the Brooklyn Brawler. Okay. 1987, Hercules Hernandez, who was managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan, began a lengthy feud with Billy Jack Haynes. The feud centered on which of the 2 muscular athletes I'm sorry. The feud centered on which of the two muscular athletes was the master of the certain submission hold. What was the hold? The bear hug, the figure four, the Boston Crab, or the full Nelson?
Hold on, start that over again because you stuttering and everything. I
Well,
lost my
I'm
train of
reading.
thought.
I'm reading their answer. I'm reading how it's written. So in February of 1987, Hercules Hernandez, now managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan, began a lengthy feud with Billy Jack Haynes. The
Okay.
feud centered on which of the two muscular athletes was the master of a certain submission hold. What was that submission hold?
And the answers are
You do get hints. The bear hug, the figure four leg lock, the Boston Crab, or the full Nelson.
give me a hint on this one.
Hint. The bear hug or the full Nelson.
I was afraid you were going to say that. Give me the full Nelson.
Ooh, I believe that is wrong. In February of 1987, Adrian Adonis was paired with Brutus the Barber Beefcake and Greg Valentine in a televised 6-man tag team match. During the bout, Adrian made a huge mistake by accidentally cut some of Brutus the Beefcake's hair. Who did Adonis, Valentine, and Beefcake face in this match? The Junkyard Dog, the Killer Bees, the Junkyard Dog and the Killer Bees, Hillbilly Jim and the British Bulldogs, Ricky Steamboat and the Rougeau brothers, or Lanny Poffo and the Can-Am Connection.
I don't have a fucking clue. Give me another 3 hints. Give me another hint.
You get a hint. Okay, there we go. The Junkyard Dog and the Killer Bees are Lanny Poffo and the Can-Am Connection.
Give me the Killer Bees and JYD.
That's probably a good pick because Lanny Poffo and the Can-Am Connection, were they faces at the time? The Can-Am was Tom Zink, right? Was it Tom Zink and Rick Martel?
Yeah.
Is that with the two?
Mhm.
God, I can't believe I know that. In 1987, a muscular, no-nonsense duo called Demolition made their debut and began to destroy their oppositions. What obnoxious manager was responsible for bringing this legendary tag team to the WWF? Bobby the Brain Heenan, Jimmy Hart, Johnny Valiant, or Slick?
Man, I don't know any of these. Give me the Brain. No, it's probably Jimmy.
I'm thinking Slick. What do you think, Brian?
You want me to say it at the end? You want to ask me?
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
I already picked it.
Yeah. Go. You keep going. Keep going. You're
Okay.
good.
At WrestleMania 3, in one of the night's many tag team contests, the Killer Bees faced Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik. Be Brian Blair, I will humble you.
Break your back. Put you in the camel clutch. Fuck your ass and make you humble.
I will fuck you. Fuck your ass. The decision was very uncharacteristic as it's time.
No,
All right, rest in peace, Iron Sheik. I will humble you. I will fuck your ass.
Break your back. Fuck your ass and make you humble.
I'm fucking dumb.
Oh my gosh, we killed
The Ted DiBiase.
I can't.
Make sure you buy the book. Oh my God.
Oh, that was good.
Okay.
That was good. I'm crying.
Very uncharacteristic, as it was the face team of the Bees that lost by disqualification. Why were they disqualified?
Oh, shit.
Jumping Jim Brunzell mistakenly punched the referee. Hacksaw Jim Duggan hit Volkov with the 2x4. Hacksaw Jim Duggan hit the Sheik with the 2x4. The Bees used the mask as the referee caught them making illegal changes, or Iron Sheik fucked him and made him humble.
I'll take Hacksaw hit Nikolai with the 2x4.
Okay. Jesus. I can't see on my glasses. In another tag team match at WrestleMania 3, the Jock and Raymond Rougeau lost. Yeah, I can't even read. Jock and Raymond Rougeau lost to Greg Valentine. Of course they did. And Brutus and Barbie Beefcake in what would be the last match together. At the bout's conclusion, Beefcake was outstead. That's weird. Beefcake was outstead and replaced by the veteran star. Who took Brutus the Barber Beefcake's place on the Dream Team? Ravishing Rick Rude, Adrian Adonis, Dino Bravo, or Playboy Buddy Rose?
Let's go say the question again, because
Please, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. In another tag team match at WrestleMania 3, Jacques and Raymond Rougeau lost to Greg Valentine and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And Brutus Beefcake, not Barber. In what would be their last match together? At the bout's conclusion, Beefcake was ousted and replaced by the ousted. Thank you. And replaced by the veteran star who took the place of Beefcake on the Dream Team. Rick Rude, Adrian Adonis, Dino Bravo, Playboy Buddy Rose.
I don't fucking know. Give me Rick Rude.
That's wrong.
Probably.
Yeah, I would imagine it would have been Adonis. One of the featured grudge matches in WrestleMania 3 card saw the Honky Tonk Man battle Jake the Snake Roberts. In order to combat the presence of the Honky Tonk's pesky manager, Jimmy Hart, Jake was accompanied by the famous heavyweight metal rocker. Who was it? Ozzy Osbourne, Alice Cooper, Slash, or Angus Young?
You froze.
Oh,
I missed.
froze?
I didn't hear. Yeah.
Who's
I only
he accompanied by?
heard Slash and Angus Young.
Ozzy Osbourne, Alice Cooper, Slash, or Angus Young?
God damn! I really should have watched some 87 shit. Can we just disqualify me and just move on and give Brian?
I'm going to go ahead and pick Alice Cooper for you. Okay, we're going to go. In the spring of 1987, former WWE Intercontinental Champion Ken Patera returned to the company after 2-year absence because he was in fucking jail. Why was he gone for 2 years? Oh, wait a minute. It's
read the answer.
It's one of the answers. What was the rest? He was wrestling in another promotion. He was serving a jail sentence. He was recovering from a serious illness.
He was serving a jail sentence.
You got it right. He was serving a jail sentence.
Do you know why he was arrested? That's the question.
Didn't he murder someone?
No. It's steroids, right?
He beat the hell out of. We're talking about Ken Patera, right?
Yes.
He beat the hell out of somebody for when it was a cheeseburger incident at McDonald's because they were inside of the McDonald's and they were filming a commercial where all the cheeseburgers were inside. And he said, well, just sell me a couple of those cheeseburgers. And they said, no, we can't do it, sir. We're closed for the night. So he picked up a boulder and threw the boulder through the window, the glass window, and beat the hell out of the person.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to tell you, if you've ever been to the McDonald's here in Waynesboro, you'd fucking want to kill somebody. They're the worst. Anyway, oh my God, I swear I didn't. I only knew he went to jail. I just knew he was in jail. All right. Shortly after, and that's from Jim Cornette. That's where I learned that from. Shortly after his return, Ken Patera injured Bobby Heenan's neck, forcing him to wear a neck brace. Classic. In the act of revenge, Heenan had some of his goons flog Patera on national television. Which Heenan family member did this to Patera? Andre the Giant, Paul Orndorff and the Islanders, Hercules Hernandez, Harley Race and the Islanders, Paul Orndorff, Harley Race, King Kong Bundy and Hercules Hernandez, King Kong Bundy, Rick Rude, Harley Race and Andre the Giant.
Give me a hint.
Orndorff, Harley Race, Bundy, Hercules, or King Kong Bundy, Rick Rude, Harley Race, Andre the Giant.
The first group you mentioned there.
Paul Orndorff?
Yeah, the one not with Rick Rude.
Yep, that's what I would have went with. During the spring and summer of 1987, a masked duo wrestled as jobbers to the stars. They did this last very long. This didn't last very long. They were gone by the fall. What was this team known as? The Gladiators, the Maniacs, the Barbarians, the Shadows.
Give me the Gladiators. I don't fucking know. Give me a new category, Alex.
I'll take the rapist for 300. Okay. Question number 1 was not Steve Lombardi, it was Barry O. It was the Full Nelson. You got that one correct. It wasn't the Junkyard Dog and Killer Bees. It was Lanny Poffo and the Can-Am Connection. They were heels at the time, I believe. So that would have made more sense.
The backstory to that was that Lenny Poffo actually cut Beefcake's hair, I believe. No, vice versa. Beefcake cut Lenny Poffo's hair, and Randy Savage flipped out on him backstage and was like,
"Yes, I remember hearing that story. Reading that story somewhere." The Junkyard, you had the Junkyard and the Killer Bees. I was right. That was Bobby the Brain Heenan. The correct answer was Jimmy Valiant. Was the manager that brought the demolition. Hacksaw Jim Duggan hit. You picked Hacksaw Jim Duggan hitting Volkov with the 2x4. It was not. It was Duggan hitting the Sheik with the 2x4. It was Ravage. It wasn't Ravishing Rick Rude. It was Dino Bravo that took the spot of Beefcake. I think I would have got that one wrong. You did get this one right. No, I got it right for you. It was Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper, sir. Come on.
Oh, summer was the highlight of that year.
Huge, bro. Huge. In the spring of 87, former WWF Intercontinental Champion Ken Patera returned to the company because he was in fucking jail. It was the group that attacked the Flog Patera was Orndorff, Harley Race, Bundy, and Hercules. You got that one right. It was not the last question was not the Gladiators. It was the Shadows. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 right. That kid is hilarious. Bring that baby on this screen. Let's see that baby.
We got to get her a hard way wrestling.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, look at that baby.
What is her name?
Sage.
Oh, hello, Sage.
She's got no chops.
That's the grandbaby. Throwing them in.
Oh, I see it. They'll fall off after a while, honey. They're good.
Say hi, world. Bye, world.
Sage, if you could read this. Oh, she got better eyes than I do. I just figured she could read this. All right, well, that's good. Do it here for Highway Wrestling. We have been on here a long time, and it's going to take 7 hours for this thing to upload. Oh, wait, what? Is that Huck Sawyer? Is that Huck Sawyer? My God! Hey, Brian, I'm going to need you to get up and humble him.
I'll put you in the comic. Break it back.
Not that way. Don't humble him that way.
Don't humble him that way unless we'll go solid cam. All right, that's good to do here for Highway Wrestling. Thank you for joining us. Please, if you're on YouTube, let's look at the comments real quick. All right, there's no more comments. Everybody went to bed. YouTube. Let's look for YouTube. We had 28 viewers on YouTube. That's really good for us, I believe. So since we only have about 27 subscribers. Anyway, go like, subscribe, go to YouTube, go to Facebook, go to Instagram. We don't have an Instagram, but just look there anyway and then type in Meat Factory in your browser. That'll be fun. Or meatspin.com. Type that in. That's real fun too. We are on all your podcasting platforms. We are on Google Play. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Music or Apple iTunes or Apple whatever. We are on 4Play. We're on all of them. We're on all of them. So please go like and subscribe all that. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about Brian. Buy Brian's book. Buy Brian's book.
Rocking All Night. The Brian Hardy story available on Amazon for $30 right now.
When you order it, order the 60-year-old version. The font is bigger. You'll be able to read it. Don't order the
Just get a monocle.
That's
Get a monocle.
Right. So again, Brian, thank you so much. Ricky, Scotty, thank you for joining. We're gonna see you guys next time
On the hard way.
All right, man.
Peace. I don't know where the outro is.